All right, we're gonna start today with our practice for our cityscape. We're gonna draw a corner building. But before I start, I want you to notice this sign. For right now, let's make sure all lines are vertical or to a vanishing point. Let's not cheat and do something else on an angle. For right now, let's make sure all of our lines are vertical or to a vanishing point. That's gonna be important as we make our city. So I'm gonna start by drawing, after I have my horizon line and VP1 and VP2, on the side, I am going to draw a vertical line in the middle of our page for the corner of our building, right here, not all the way to the top, not all the way to the bottom. That's about 6 inches or so, 7 inches. And that's gonna be the corner of our main building. Then I'm gonna connect this to VP1 and VP2. I can do a solid line on the bottom because this is where we're gonna make a sidewalk and a curb, but on the top I'm going to do a dotted line, and I'll tell you about that in just a minute, because we want to make sure that we have some sort of frame of reference for how big all of our buildings are going to be in this cityscape. Here's my sign, don't forget it. And if we connect all of them with a dotted line here, this will tell us how big our main building is going to be. So if I make a parallel line here, in this case it's vertical, on either side, here's our corner building, and this is the top. Now I made my horizon line in gray. If yours is in pencil, you can erase it so you don't see it inside the building. But here's my horizon line. So here's our center building, and let's say we have a center building that is about 5 stories tall. If we go above this dotted line, that's going to make it a taller building, taller than 5 stories. If it's below the dotted line, it's going to be a shorter building. So therefore, if I make a building way back here that's higher than the dotted line, but the same height as the middle, this is going to be like a 20-story building back here because it's supposed to get smaller as it goes further back. If I make it below the dotted line, it's going to be shorter than 5 stories. So keep that in mind when you're making your buildings. To make another building next to it, super easy. You just pull your ruler, making sure your ruler is vertical. Always use your ruler, and then connect the top to the opposite vanishing point. Right here. So now I have 2 buildings right next to each other. They're connected. They share this wall. Building 1, we see the left side and the right side. And building 2, we just see the right side. They share a wall. They're connected together. I could do one shorter over here by making another vertical line. Not quite to the dotted line, so it's not quite 5 stories. And connect it to VP2, but go backwards towards the center building. And now I have a 3rd building here that shares a wall with the other 2. What happens if I want to make a space in between the buildings, an alleyway? I can again draw a vertical line. This time I'm going to draw it taller than 5 stories, taller than that dotted line. And I'm going to connect the top and bottom to each vanishing point. Now the bottom of here is already connected to VP1. So I'm going to connect the top to VP1 for however wide I want the side of the building to be. About there. And then I'm going to draw a vertical line down. And what I have here is the side of a building that's facing this left street, maybe call this first street and this second street. And it's facing this street. I need the inside of the building to show with an alleyway in between the center building and this taller building. So to do that, I'm going to take the top and bottom of this line and connect it to VP2. I'm going to connect it until it hits that center building and then stop. Then I'm going to connect it up here, and I can go all the way to the center building, or I could stop it short and have a vertical line going down to make it a thin building, like that. And then there's space back here for more. I could even do another building in here if I wanted, with a line going to VP2 that is in this alleyway. Now there's a cute little building right here. If you don't see the alleyway, let's pretend you're taking a walk along the sidewalk. You stop and you want a quick run and go into a side street or an alley, you turn, and there it is. So there's a space in between these buildings. So if I want to do a space in between this one and the one back over here, maybe I make a taller building over here, start with a vertical line, connect it to top and bottom to each vanishing point. The bottom right now is already connected to VP2. I'm going to have the top do the same. Look at that hard angle, because as we get closer to the vanishing point, things are getting smaller and more condensed. In this case, it's this much higher than that dotted line. So this is probably about a 10-story building. It's double the height. Then I can make the top of it go to VP1 as far as I need it to go. And I'm going to make the bottom alleyway also go to VP1 before I draw the side. I'm going to have it go sneak to the next building I made. And then a line down to complete this one. And again, I have an alleyway here. If I'm taking a walk along the road, I need to stop quick and turn, I can go into this alleyway. I could also draw another building connected to this one by lining up the top to VP1. And now I have another building connected to this. So here are a few couple buildings, and notice again that all lines right now are vertical or to a vanishing point. Do not make any crooked lines and use your ruler for every single one.